I don't really know what to say for an intro. I'm doing r/I'm14 and this is deep again. Whenever I feel like making a video, this is always the place that comes to my mind first, because I mean, it's just endless, and everything on here is terrible. But more than the actual content of this subreddit, the people on here are somehow just as bad, if not worse. I was a while ago considering making a video on this, but I ended up not making it. But I saw a post on here that I unfortunately couldn't find again. I think it was deleted, but I'm not sure. I don't know how Reddit works. But it looked something like this. It said apparently on the wall of a concentration camp, there was a writing that said, like, you know, when I die, God's gonna have to ask me for forgiveness or something like that. And then underneath it was a Reddit comment that said, like, Tommy Tough Knuckles or something. So he was comparing this pretentious nonsense to writings on the wall of a concentration camp. And if I remember correctly, it had like a lot of upvotes. So those are the kind of people that for some reason frequent this subreddit. I don't know why they visit a subreddit dedicated to making fun of pretentious memes if they actually like all the memes. Are you going to sleep? Yes, I am. Now shut up. You are alone in your own mind. You can't confirm that anything else exists. Gah. I mean, it's all the same to you at that point. If you just invented everything and nothing's real, then being real just means being invented by you. Humans really could have had a beautiful little existence on Earth, just creating art and eating fruit. Instead, we have credit scores and taxes. No. What do you think human beings are? Where do you think we came from? We couldn't have just had a beautiful little existence eating fruit. Number one, you forget that early human beings didn't just have the luxury of being able to be alive. They had to survive. It was pretty tough. Number two, civilizations formed because humans like civilization. They didn't just spring up out of nowhere and everyone was like, this is a bad idea, but then some vague authority said, well, you have to. They did it because that's what human beings like to do. Also, human beings weren't always good at creating art. Why do you think every early art is a cave painting? Artistic techniques, get this, passed through civilization. That's why people got better at making art as time went on. Also, it gave them a reason to make art. They're like, oh, we have all this, you know, beautiful civilization and whatnot. I'm gonna make an art about it. Back in the day, back in cave times, they were just putting shit on walls because it was cool, which is pretty impressive for cave times, but obviously things evolved past that. A cured patient is a lost client. First semester of medicine. I don't think these people know how the medical industry or medicine at all works. You can't just cure someone. Such as someone walks in and says, oh, I'm sick. All right, here's pill that solves everything. And then they take pill and they're healthy again. You treat diseases. This is pretty basic stuff, but I mean, apparently it's hard to figure out. That's the thing people say about doctors. They say doctors want you to be sick. Doctors are there for when you are sick. You will get sick, and doctors are there to treat you when you do. Also, it's not like hospitals really have to worry about repeat clients. I only love you. I love you too. He's thinking about her, but she's just thinking about a bunch of black guys. You are my 7 minutes. 7 minutes? What's that? After death, the human brain lives for 7 minutes to replay the best memories of your life. Ugh, I have bad news. I'm breaking up with you for a bunch of black guys. Also, I don't know if that brain thing is true, but if it is, it's definitely not to replay the best moments of your life. It's probably just your brain going crazy on account of the fact that you are literally dying at that moment. This is not life. This is life. That's right, you can only live in the countryside. If you're not living in the countryside, you're basically not alive. You're not even really a person. Also, I hate in these, like, every time you see it's like, oh, you gotta live in the country. You can't live in the city. They always leave out the suburbs. So much of America is suburbs. This one is actually a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier. The top picture does look rather miserable compared to the bottom one. That's because it's traffic. This guy says, all opinions must conform to mine. Or any conversation slightly requiring any tiny form of complex thought in any way whatsoever is r/I'm14 and this is deep. What exactly is complex about this thought? It's the city's bad because I say it is. That's my opinion, all right? So therefore it's truth. I was a millionaire. I was famous. I had a perfect body. I was always in control. I was Pharaoh of Egypt. I was chairman of the USSR. are. I get the point of this one. It's like, oh, no matter what you are, you always die in the end. Except, like, yeah, no shit. That stuff doesn't mean anything to them now that they're dead. I bet it meant a hell of a lot to them when they were alive. That's the thing. This meme literally doesn't apply since everyone reading it is alive. So yeah, the stuff that seems important won't seem important when you're dead, but nothing will seem important when you're dead, because you're gonna be dead. But this very obvious fact that I thought everyone just went through their life already knowing was apparently a revelation to these Redditors. I actually kind of like this. It's what people in the Renaissance would have called memento mori art. The idea is that you try to live your life conscious of the fact that you're going to be dead before too long. The famous example is Holbein's The Ambassadors, which has a distorted skull in the center of the painting. The difference is The Ambassadors is a well thought out, well crafted painting full of symbolism, and this is 4 PNGs. I'm not sure this belongs here. Life really does pass by quickly. In the end, material belongings don't matter much. Treasure it while you can. Life is fleeting. Is that a revelation to you? I could come up to you and say, grass is green and 2 + 2 = 4, and you'd be like, whoa, so right! That's exactly true! We are all being played. Government, corporations, media, military, police, you. I'm not sure exactly what this is trying to say. I mean, I get like the hierarchy of, oh, you know, corporations and the government are above you. But like the military? What's the military doing? Is the media really placed so high above average civilians that they're somehow awarded like special privileges? No. We actually have a surprise guest, a good comment. Doesn't this imply there's a player controlling all of you and that you're actually working alongside all of these guys towards a common end? I don't think the person who made this meme thought that deeply about it. They probably started from, how can we say that you're a pawn? And then they probably worked backwards from there. Swap corporations and government and it's a pretty good meme. Why? Ugh. Why can't you be normal? Why can't you be interesting? What? This one's pretty stupid. It's this lady, she's stunned to silence by this pretentious bitch, I don't know, like shattering her reality or something like that. But I'm more concerned about the comments. Yuri, now. I'm so confused. What is that? Waiter, more Yuri, please. I don't use Reddit. I don't know what this means. It's definitely a fetish thing because this is Reddit, but I don't know what. I make people happy. Go away, weed. Bad influence. I wake people up so they can work like robots. Coffee, my lifesaver. Weed doesn't make you happy. And you have to go to work anyway, so you might as well have the coffee. Name these brands. There's Facebook, there's McDonald's, there's Volkswagen, there's the one with the swish, and there's Apple. And I don't know the alligator one. Alright, name these trees. Now you understand how painfully disconnected most of us are from the natural world. I mean, I can name that one. That's pretty obviously a maple leaf. One person's metal, our other one's children. I mean, yeah, who did you think died in wars? Do you think that nebulous goons spawned from the ether with no family or friends to be the bad guys in a big war? This is another one that's just like so obvious. I can't fathom that it's a revelation and that anyone, like, this is news to anybody. If everyone knows war is bad, why do we still have wars? Because it's rarely bad for everyone. Some profit of it. I mean, the Americans, they won their independence via a war. The Irish won their independence via a war. Vietnam's invasion of Cambodia stopped Pol Pot from killing everyone there. So yeah, I guess some people do profit from war. It is true, however, as Nico Bellic said, war is when the young and stupid are tricked by the old and bitter into killing each other. I mean, Nico Bellic was a gangster and murderer, so maybe taking his advice on the ethics of killing isn't the best place to get that stuff. I mean, this seems so obvious, but I've never actually thought about it that way. I like this one. Do you see what I'm saying? How do you go through your entire life? You never thought that when people died? What did you think happened? How to mess with someone's mind. When someone apologizes, say, I know, instead of, it's okay. It feels cold, dominant, and kills the power of their apology. What happens if they say, alright, dick, I'm not sorry anymore? Stare at their shoes while they're talking. They'll get uncomfortable and start over-explaining, thinking something's wrong with them. What if they don't do that? What if they just say, hey, eyes up here, buddy. Say, you remind me of someone I used to hate. Then smile. That thought will linger in their mind like poison. What happens if it doesn't do that and they just say, okay, guy. While talking, ask, why do you always do that with your hands? Even if they weren't doing anything. They'll now feel watched and self-conscious. I actually have experience in this one. I do stuff with my hands all the time, and it doesn't do that. Mid-sentence, look behind them with concern, then continue like nothing happened. Their mind won't recover. They'll keep looking over their shoulder for minutes. What if they just ask, hey, what are you looking at? What are you supposed to say? Just, nothing. You see how trying to script out a conversation doesn't work out? Also, this isn't like messing with someone's mind. It's just being passive aggressive. This is why men build empires, so they can go home to this. I mean, they could just go home to this without building an empire. So your meme doesn't really make any sense. Also, this whole, like, the only thing that matters is my wife and child idea is a very modern idea. Alexander the Great had 3 wives, and he spent his entire adult life conquering. What about Elizabeth I? She was Queen of England, and she was a virgin her entire life. What about Ivan IV? He killed his son with a cane. So it doesn't seem like they built empires just to go home to their wife and child. Which again, you can do without an empire. So I have a feeling they built empires for other reasons. Anyway, that's all the deep memes that I have today. I'm done.